Madison. We are here at Heathermore Farm Riding Academy. These are some examples of healthy, happy horses. Healthy, happy horses require a few basic things. They need lots of shelter. They need shelter from the elements. They need food. They need fresh water at all times. They need exercise, and they need lots of care and attention. Horses require some grooming, they require hoof care, and some other things to keep them clean and their coat in good condition and them healthy. My horse wears shoes on his front feet, so he requires them to be picked out regularly so he does not get infections in his hoof like thrush and some other things. We also use some things like hoof flex to moisturize his feet so they do not become dry and cracked. Perrier loves to be turned out so he can roll around in the grass and be out of his stall, just to stretch his legs. He loves to be free and canter around by himself. But some horses never get to be free. The point of this movie is to tell people about horse cruelty. Although you can see my horse is happy and healthy and has a good life here at Heathermore Farm, but that's not the case for all horses. Many people know other countries eat horses, but most people don't know how exactly they end up on their plates. Many times it's because of something like lameness, they're ugly, or some people think they're ugly, or there's just no need for them. Most horses end up at the slaughterhouse through auctions. There are many horse auctions in the U.S. People from Mexico and other countries come and they buy horses for slaughter. They usually outbid other buyers by keep going up the price because they know that they get their pay in weight. So they'll get more money than they buy for. Many horses that are left over and not bought they buy for cheap because the owners want to sell them. Several stages slaughter. The horses are crowded into small cattle trucks with ceilings that are too low to stand. They are shipped for over 24 hours with no food, no water, and no rest. They are weak, so they frequently fall, and when they cannot stand again, they are trampled to death. The horses are then forced into dirty corrals with still no food and no water. The corrals are unlike this one. This one is clean, but the others are dirty with usually metal bars like the gate right there. Usually this gate would be closed and there would be a maze of walkways around that would be opened up when they're ready to move the horses out. The horses then just have to wait for their turn in the kill box. In their turn, the horses are forced into the kill box, where the slaughterhouse's usually untrained, unexperienced crew either stab them or shoot them to death. Some of our undercover cameras at Burvey, a slaughterhouse in Mexico, caught horror scenes as horses were shot multiple times without dying. Undercover cameras at Burvey, a slaughterhouse in Mexico, caught horror scenes as horses were shot multiple times without dying. Naturally, in their pain, they fought in pain and fear, which was all witnessed by the horses in the corrals behind them, scaring them terribly. Some horses are stabbed to death until they are paralyzed and then are butchered. There are some debates for if the horses wake up and are conscious as they are butchered. Horses are stabbed and when they are paralyzed they are butchered. There are some debates over if the horses are conscious and wake up as they are. Horse fights are one of the most cruelest sports ever invented by man. Horse fighting is when two trained stallions are led into a ring and then forced to fight almost sometimes to the death over a mare. This is extremely painful for them and they don't understand why it's happening. Usually they're injured so bad that even if they do survive through it, they have to be put down afterwards. This of course is illegal in the US, but in places like Mexico, the Philippines, and China still do it. Viewers flock to the fighting arenas to bet on their favorite horses and maybe make some easy money. I think that horse fighting is the worst fighting animal category because of their size and weight. It is almost impossible for them it is impossible for them to survive on 3 legs because of their weight. It's too traumatizing for their other legs to support them. While in dog fighting, their legs can be amputated and they can still live. The horses, cut. I have a lot of love and respect for horses. They are such noble, graceful creatures. I don't understand why anybody would want to be so cruel and unfair to them. Tennessee walking horses seem to be one of the most cruelest treated breeds. It is just unbelievable what people do to them for the sake of winning a ribbon. It's hard to even know where to start telling you about it. Basically, everything that's done to them is to make them get big and look pretty. Everything I'm about to tell you is to make them pick their feet up high so they can look showy and perform the gait, the big lick. A trot. The Tennessee walking horse gait, the big leg, is just simply an exaggerated trot. It's unnatural for the horses, but this regular trotting like this comes naturally. Is the frog, this arrow-shaped part of its hoof right here. This is a very sensitive part of a horse's hoof. Some trainers force their horses to stand on hard concrete platforms while taping hard objects like blocks of wood or this ball onto their frog, sort of like this, like putting it right here and taping it on. You can see how it sticks up. So that would be the point of weight on their sensitive part right here. Like they would tape it about here somewhere. They leave them to stand there until they cannot bear weight on their front feet anymore because the pain is too great. Then they are taken out and they are ridden or shown because the pain in their leg forces them to pick their feet up really high. Okay, this makes the horses jerk their feet up really high where their knees is almost above their chest, which enables them to perform the classic Tennessee walking horse gait, the big lick. Many things people do to them, but here's just one. Some trainers cut their hoofs way too short, almost to the quick, the fleshy inner part of their hoof, kind of around the frog. This makes it very painful for them to walk. When they put their foot down, it hurts, so they yank it back up really high. To people who don't know they're in pain, this looks very pretty when they pick their feet up high. The judges approve of this gait. Wait, the judges like this a lot. Okay, stop and redo this. There's also put foreign objects under the horseshoe, which is this right here, and for most of you know. Then they nail it back on. This is very painful and also makes them pick their feet up high. One of the worst things trainers do is soring. This is when harmful chemicals like diesel fuel, kerosene, and mustard oil are rubbed on the horse's front legs, like right here. Down on this part. I don't think they do it up here. It's mostly here. The horse's legs are then wrapped in plastic wrap so the chemicals can cook deep into their skin. Soring makes the horse's legs very painful, so when they put their foot down, the shock of it makes them yank it back up, and also, again, enabling them to perform the exaggerated, unnatural gait, the big lip. This gait is specially for Tennessee walking horses. Judges praise this gait, encouraging the trainers to soar, even though it's illegal. Oftentimes, when you walk through a barn that soars, you will see horses lying on their side, moaning in pain. Being soared, horses are left in their stalls for days at a time. But this can't be too bad for them, considering that they only come out to show and train anyways. They don't ever get to go out and play with their friends in the pasture, and they usually don't even have doors on the stalls. So all they see all day long is the inside of their barn. After they are soared, they come out to train. Then metal chains are put around their ankles, so while they move, it rubs them and hurts them even more. This again makes them yank their feet up high. Metal chains have a chain circle that would come around here in a circle where it would hold about this sort of loose so it can wrap around, and they'd be in here, and then a chain would connect to the middle and connect their feet together. But the chain would be sort of long, so when they would yank it up, instead of being to reach out far and take a long step like they would naturally do, the chain would hit right here, which would be very painful after they've been soared, and would make them put their foot down short. But when they try to take a long step, their feet, they usually take high steps instead to try to make up for that long step. So that ends up making them take their knees and bringing it up to here sometimes. And their head would have to be up and very collected for them to do this. So this part of their head, the pole, would really be back here, almost in the rider's lap. The Humane Society has just now started sending inspectors to 7% of Tennessee walking horse shows, which is not a lot considering how popular the breed is. The inspectors, before any horse will go into the ring, the inspectors will come around and they will feel the horse right here, which is where it would have been stored. If the horse jerks or hints any pain, then the horse will not be permitted to show because it has been stored. The inspectors also look around here for scarring, hinting where the harmful chemicals have been splashed onto them. Trainers will also do things at the show, like put alligator clips on a sensitive part, like right here. See, he's flinching at that because he knows it's sensitive and he doesn't want me to hurt him. Or right here, or some, like on the sensitive skin, like right here. That. See? The alligator, the horses will then focus on this new pain instead of the inspector, so they might not react. But the Tennessee walking horse trainers will not be beaten so easily by the inspectors. They're fighting back. So one technique that they have is they will put their horses through mock inspectors at their home barn. So when the mock inspectors come and feel like a normal inspector would, but the Tennessee walking horse trainers will not be beaten so easily by the inspectors. They're fighting back. So one technique that they have is they will put their horses through mock inspectors at their home. If the horse shows any signs of pain, then the trainer will beat the horse with a blunt object like a stick or something. So the horse will learn to not react for fear of the beating more than what the inspector is doing to their legs. If you are compelled by my video and want to help horses, don't stop here. Contact your local Humane Society or your local equine rescue center. They will fill you in on anything you need to know and even give you some tips on how to help out. Thank you for watching.